Good morning. I've got the hot spot the last 5 minutes before lunch, so bear with me for 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about why I'm here standing up for standards from the perspective of a historian, which is my training. And so, as a historian, I have to start with history. And in 1992, an incredible 19 years ago, the Colorado legislature mandated the writing of our state standards. What emerged was 19 different standards that encapsulated econ, civics, geography, and history, and a total of 503 benchmarks. Talk about a daunting task. Well, they weren't without their controversy. And lots of what I heard, and still continue to hear, were things like, they're limiting, they take away teacher autonomy, we should be able to be free speech teachers to teach what we want to teach, and now we have to teach standards. Well, in 2010, the standards were revised, and what came out of them was a much tighter group of standards. And I have to tell you one thing, I do like Colorado standards. I have worked nationwide with other school districts, and the reason I like our standards is partially the reasons why the first go-round we got a D from the Fordham Institute. But they are broad and they are conceptual. And in that regard, that's why I'm here standing up for standards. Because standards tell me what to teach without telling me what to teach. They're broad, they're conceptual. I get to choose the topics I want to use to get my students interested, to pique their curiosity, to get them to learn about the concepts. I get to pick the stories that best illustrate the concepts or the idea that I'm trying to teach, or I've been mandated to teach by those standards. The second reason, first, and I knew I was going to forget this, I had to look, they invite the use of primary sources. The second reason I like our standards, and I'm up here standing up for them, is that the new ones have managed to get to the crux, distill down to the core of what each discipline's about. In history, we're all about chronology, organizing events, organizing things through time, looking at cause and effect relationships, looking at the relationship from one event or one thing to the next. We're all about looking at primary sources, interrogating them, if you will, which leads us, as historical thinkers, to the bottom line, and that's asking questions. And that's what a historian does. With our new standards, we have intended outcomes. Therefore, they're already listed are my goals and objectives. And as one who never was particularly eager to do that kind of work, I get to jump right into the content that I can choose that will best help my students reach those goals and objectives. It also informs me about assessments. So I can develop an assessment that gives my students the freedom to pick the topic, the content, the event, the person that best for them illustrates the concept I'm trying to help them learn. And finally, personally, intellectually, I appreciate the challenge of trying to take what I know as a historian and pair it with a standard to come up with a lesson that's engaging, that causes history to be a breathing, living entity and not a march through time. And I thank you. Fast. Want me to take questions? Are there questions or comments, or do you just want to go have lunch?
Where can they find the standards?
Pardon me?
Where can they find the standards?
The standards are online at the Colorado Department of Education. If you just Google CDE, go on, you will see standards, and they are there. And they really have done quite a nice job, I think, with the new ones. Okay?
Thank you, Cindy.